Good evening. Welcome to the Week 1 Recap Season Overview video. I am your host. I am your commissioner, Jeff Darling. Welcome back, my loyal friends, my loyal enemies. That's you, Greg. I've got my eye on you. Anyways, welcome, Warrenton's finest fantasy football league. You did it. You agreed once again to come back. And why? Why, I ask myself, as we look at the results from this past week, week 1, every year, my wife says, "You're doing that again?" And I say, "One day I'll win." And even then, winning will not pay for all the lost money for the last 15, 20 years? How old am I? I've probably been playing for 20 years, and I've never won a fantasy league. But that's okay. Maybe this is my year. Although if week 1's any indication, probably not. But I'm late, and it's tired, so let's go ahead and get into our recap. We had, just a real doozy. Just a real doozy of a first week. And let's go ahead and just go through this scoreboard. I don't want to start with my with my game, so we're going to start here with Team Queen and Uncle Touchdown. Now, folks, this game turned out to be much closer than Greg's trash talking made it seem to be. Now, there's a lot of disappointment here, Hannah. I know there's disappointments here. You got a big old goose egg from Dallas Goedert. Joe Burrow putting up minus 4 points. 3.18. That's not fantastic. But that being said, Sean, you had 2 people scoring less than 1 point. The real savior here was going into the Sunday night game. Hannah was down by about 40 points. All appeared to be lost. And what happened? But the Dallas Cowboys defense scored her 35 points, and she still lost. But hey, it looked a lot better. You lost 106.12 to 97.68. Couple things that you might want to look for, Hannah. I'm looking for this as well. A quarterback who can actually get you points. I believe, folks, spoiler alert, we had 5 of the 12 starting quarterbacks in our league scored less than 10 points. One of them only had 0. Anyways, moving on. Your bench is pretty sparse, Hannah, but if you had started Matthew Stafford, you would have won. That being said, if Sean had started any number of the people on his bench, he would have still won. So that's fantasy for you. Sometimes you start the right people. Sometimes you don't start the right people. Sometimes you do everything wrong and you still win. Sometimes you do everything right and you tear your Achilles tendon. But we'll get to that later. Moving on, Team Touchdown. It seems like this whole latest revelation about the Packy, I think it's the Packy chip is what we had. Dan seemed to have taken that personally, folks. He's put the league on notice. He beat the slightly, do you really put the league on notice when you beat Jason's team? I don't know. But you did win 110 to 82.7. So congratulations, Dan, for a week 1 victory. And congratulations for having the player that scored the highest total number of points, Tyreek Hill, with a whopping 41 points. Add that to Stephon Diggs having 22 points, and basically those 2 players outscored Jason's entire team. Not quite, but pretty close. Jason, you did everything right. You just didn't play the right person. That's just what it kind of boils down to. So congratulations to Dan for a week 1 victory. I think that tied your wins for last season. I'm not sure, but let's just go with that. Next up was Gone Fishing against Bye Week. And let me tell you, Matt, you're the only person I could have beaten this week, and I appreciate that. I like you for that. I love you for that. I hope I play you next week. I don't, but that's okay. Yeah, Matt, the real problem here, as I see it, is that your kicker and defense combined got you negative points. You should have just not played them to begin with, and then you would have only lost by 40 points. Brandon, I think you had like 3 wins last season. You have made an impressive statement here. All the while with your quarterback, my own Dak Prescott, getting you 6 points. He's one of the 5 that had less than 10. That's pretty wild that you still scored 102 despite having your quarterback getting you 6 points. I don't think you have another quarterback on your bench, so thanks, Auto Draft. But also, thank you on a draft, Brandon. Make sure you say thanks to the ESPN, Chat GPT, or whoever does that stuff, because they picked you a pretty solid team. Your bench looks great. Your starting roster looked great. Matt, may I consider Brandon's strategy for you next draft? Maybe forget to show up. Although, Brandon, I think you were sick. Condolences, Matt. You don't need to do that necessarily. All right, moving right along. The Wanakee Squirrel Salads taking on... Now, guys, this was a repeat of our championship game. And Greg, as usual, won when it didn't count. So he beat Mike 111.4 to 95.6, proving once again the regular season doesn't matter. We still have our two-time defending champ. Mike, don't let it get you down, buddy. It happens. 95 points, nothing to sneeze at. You would have beat more than half the league again. It just comes down to who you played and who you didn't play. The big things I want to point out on this one, surprisingly, I got nothing. I got nothing really juicy here. Greg had some solid showings from Aaron Jones and Tony Pollard, running backs. Go figure. The age-old formula for a successful fantasy team is having a good running back. Way to crack that code, Greg. Congratulations on your week 1 victory. Next up, we had To Infinity and Beyond to Infinity and Beyond. This name matchup, you're both losers in my opinion, because Carlos, you don't have Tua on your team. You can't do a team name pun if you don't have that player on your team. I think that's common fantasy naming regulations. As commissioner, I might have to dock you a couple points. That being said, that won't help Michael in any case because you walloped him 101 to 73.16. The big things here, again, Lamar Jackson, LaShawn McCoy, LaJar Jackson. Oh boy, I need to be careful here. I'm getting all the names mixed up. 6 points, 6.5 points. T. Higgins, 0 points. You got another guy with 2 points. You got another guy with 3 points. Michael, your bench was great. You have a guy with, I can't pronounce any of the names on your bench. Gayer, 22 points. Another dude from Vegas, 24 points. Another dude, 13 points. I'm pretty confident. If you probably hadn't listened to your gut, you might have won this game. However, you didn't and you lost. Congratulations, Carlos. Change your name now. You can make it to... you got Harrison Butker on your team. I see some possibilities with that name. So anyways, there you go. Moving on, my game. Now, guys, I saved the worst for last because it's the talk of the league. Not me, but Aaron Rodgers. Now, just so you know what happened, I want to set the stage. I was down 1.5 points going into Monday night's game. On the drive home, my wife asked me, hey, how did fantasy go? And I said, I've got this one locked up. Only down by a point. I've got Aaron Rodgers and a running back. He just has a kicker. Unless both of these guys... Now, this is verbatim. I said, unless these guys tear their ACL on the first play, I'm going to win. I'm putting my son in bed, tucking him in. I have to lie down next to him to get him to fall asleep, so I'm not able to watch the game yet. It's around 8:38 at this point, I think. I pull out the ESPN app. I pull up the game, I click on it, and I see Zach Wilson completes a 6-yard pass, which was incredible for 2 reasons. Number one, that Zach Wilson completed the pass. Number two, that wasn't Aaron Rodgers' name. So I left my son, and I pulled up the TV, the game on the TV, and yeah, dreams ruined, hopes dashed. Could be worse. I could be an actual Jets fan. Could be worse. I could be Aaron Rodgers, so RIP to his Achilles tendon. But boy, was that just the real shocker. So yeah, the Weasel had 2 people with 0 points, and I still couldn't beat him because I had a very crucial position with a big fat 0. I love the meme, Greg, that you shared that said Josh Allen has completed more passes to Jets players than Aaron Rodgers. That will remain true for the remainder of the season since he is out. And he is out. I lost 75.9 to 68.8. If I had just played a different kicker and a quarterback who actually played, I could have been on the winning end here. But hey, guys, this is what happens. This is fantasy. This is why we do it. For the love of the game, for the hate of the game, we show up every week and we say, what in the world just happened? I have no idea. But here we go. We're going to look ahead to week 2 really quickly. It's really late. I'm really tired. I don't think anybody's even still watching this video. This is really just for my own... I don't even care at this point. All right, next up, week 2, Dallas Jeff Boys. Now, just know, I don't think people have updated all of their rosters and all their standing lineups, so this is just the Tuesday night starting lineups, projections. Here we go. Dallas Jeff Boys taking on Team Queen. One of us will get a victory, so that's exciting. Right now, projection, Team Queen 113, Team Jeff Boys 106. Next up, Uncle Touchdown against Team Touchdan. One of these undefeated teams is going to lose. Another exciting thing here. Currently, it's saying that Dan has 110 projected, Uncle Touchdown 107.9. I look forward to seeing this matchup. Next up, the Weasel against the slightly above average team. Jason's projected 106.5. The Weasel 101.5. Next up, Wanakee Squirrel Salads going up against Gone Fishing. This one, Matt, let's see. Your projection is double what you scored last week, and you're projected right now to win 112.5 to 104.5. Godspeed, my friend. We're rooting for you. Greg? You know. Next up, bye week. Going to... All right, now, Michael, I'm going to need you to change your name. And Carlos, change your name. I don't even know if it's Beyond, if the J's silent, if it's Bijan. Bye weeks going up against Michael Cups to Infinity and Bijan. Right now, Brandon is projected to win 110 to 104.9. And last but not least, Team Midnight against Tua, Infinity, and Beyond. Mike is supposed to lose 97.3 to Carlos's 100.4. Now, folks, that's it. That's the week 2 lineup. I thought I had an important league announcement. But if I did have an important league announcement, I shouldn't do it at minute 12 of this very long week 1 video. Anyways, this has been a real pleasure. I'm excited to see how this season progresses. We do need to finalize, what our league punishment is, preferably before I have too many losses and start to chicken out. So we need to get that committed to. No, I'm not going to hand down an authoritative decision like a dictator. Emphasis on that last part, the tater part, if you know what I mean. So yeah, let's try to come to a league vote, a league understanding, a league agreement on what we're doing for our penalty. There's a couple questions about how the waiver wire works. If you have any questions about it, it's supposed to be the inverse of that previous week's results. And so loss and win will come into factor, and then points scored and points against, I believe, comes into play as well. So waiver wire should be clearing by the 13th. After that point, free agents are available. So anyways, have a great week. Make sure you guys check your rosters, check your lineups before the Thursday night game, unless you're playing me. Hannah, you check on Tuesday morning of next week, and then set your lineup at that point. Although I think you're projected to still beat me. So anyways, have a wonderful night, you guys. I'll talk to you later. Farewell.